News, Washington.
Worst death toll in the world, second worst, of course, here in the United Kingdom is what we're being told, and the worst death toll of COVID-19 in Europe, in the United Kingdom, as a result of the figures that we saw yesterday. Battle against the pandemic being fought by people on the front line, working hard and risking their lives to help. Matthew Leopold has been volunteering with St John's Ambulance for 14 years. When we last spoke to him, beginning of April, he was about to take up the role of Senior Commander at NHS Nightingale. He joins us now. Hello to you. Thanks for joining us on the programme this morning. Talk to us about how that went.
Good morning. So, yes, when we last spoke at the beginning of April, we were ramping up our capabilities to run the Nightingale Hospital at the Excel Centre. But as it became very clear that the NHS hospitals across London and the South East have been really quite resilient, the amount of staffing and the number of beds that required in Nightingale wasn't anywhere near the planning that we had done. So we're in the very fortunate position of not actually needing to open all of the capability of the Nightingale Hospital. So we started to phase back the resourcing that we put in and have started to reallocate our volunteers across many different opportunities to support the NHS. So that might be crewing frontline ambulances or working in emergency departments across the United Kingdom.
So what did it look like, the fact that, you were only, I think there was only, certainly less than 50 people being treated in the Nightingale with capacity for up to 4,000. Were you just working in a little corner, or how did it work?
Yeah, so the wards have all been built. It is quite substantial. The length of the Excel Centre, it's a kilometre long. It is quite incredibly huge. And small areas were used in different pockets in order to make sure that there was a good, clear process flow for those patients as they were working through the Nightingale. So there was still quite a lot of walking. We had a step-down area at one end of the Excel and then the main intensive care unit at the other, which certainly kept us all fit and healthy, but made sure that the patients were being adequately separated and being very, very well looked after.
And what's it like having an intensive care unit in a facility that is used to being used for concerts or whatever, and other sorts of events where mass groups of people come, as opposed to, the intimacy of an ICU in a hospital? It's like something from the Blacklist.
It is absolutely surreal. As you know, I'm a volunteer, so I've never been into an NHS intensive care facility before. So going into the Nightingale and seeing just the sheer size of this warehouse, you did have to pinch yourself and think, my goodness, last time I was here was for the London Triathlon or for some other really large event. And suddenly it's become a very well organised, very clean, hygienic hospital environment with the NHS branding, with the right process flows, with the arrows. It is quite surreal. And yes, it's just this vast cavern and very noisy, but very well organised, with all the staff allocated into different bays and into different wards, making sure that the right resource is in the right place. So from an outsider perspective, it was absolutely fascinating watching how these fabulous professionals across the NHS can deliver their care in what is such an alien environment. But actually on the micro scale, it was exactly the same. They had the bed, they had the equipment, they had the ventilators. So on a small scale, it was exactly as they would have found in their regular hospital.
What's your workload looking like at the moment?
So I've moved away from the Nightingale. I still help out now and then with some of the administration or operational responsibilities. But at the moment, I now spend most of my time crewing frontline 999 ambulances on behalf of the London Ambulance Service. So we've been responding to calls across London and the South East, helping those people that essentially need help on what could well be the worst day of their lives when they have to call 999. So there are thousands of volunteers. In fact, there are 5,000 volunteers across the UK who are now all dedicated to helping provide ambulance services, provide operational help, or working in emergency departments across the UK. It's just a phenomenal amount of effort and resources going in.
Okay, good to talk. Oh, let me just ask you, before we let you go, excuse me, We are talking to Give Penny and Cancer Research UK later on, because they're putting together a playlist for the nation to lift their spirits during lockdown and raise funds for Cancer Research UK as well. What would be on your playlist?
Well, just hearing your earlier one about Disney, I think it would probably have to be something from The Jungle Book and something that Baloo sings. So nice, upbeat, dancing music that'll keep everyone happy and cheerful.
A jungle VIP, which is exactly what you are. It's good to talk to you. Thank you for joining us.
That's the word I was looking for. Thanks, Kate.
Thank you. Coming up after the break, we're going to be